Subject code agency is 2015 Object Oriented Programming Lab. Experiment number 5, Inheritance. In this video, we're going to see how inheritance can be implemented in Java programming language. In this video, we have three programs. The first one is to print the gross and net salary and all the taxes and funds given to employee. That means in this program we have two kinds of employees. They are one of them is manager and the next one is engineer. First, we can assume a manager and employee as two child classes of a parent class, that is employee. Here we can see the parent class is employee, and these are some basic variables that have defined inside the class. Now we're going to see how method overriding works using inheritance. Now we'll start from main function below. Now here I have defined a class first, that is the file name, and we have a main method from where the program starts to execute. Now we have a scanner object just to read input from the user. Scanner, it is a class available to read input. In the beginning of the program, we have imported the scanner from util package. Now since it is a class, we have to create an object to it, and this is an infinite while loop that keeps on running uh, until the condition fails. Now using the scanner object, we can read the input. Now we are prompting the user to enter 1 for manager and 2 for engineer and 3 to exit. For example, if the user enters 1, uh, we have to display all the salary details of manager, or else if the user enters 2, we have to display the details or salary details of engineer. And if the user presses 3, simply we have to exit the program. Now uh, for that we have written the code here. We are taking the input from user using the nextInt method available in scanner class. We are using the obj as a reference of this object. uh, Now here we are checking if input equals to 1. We are creating object for manager class, and uh, using the reference of that object, we're calling the CALC, that means calculation method of manager class. Now that's what we're doing if the user presses 1. Now we'll see how the calculation method of manager. Here we have manager class, and this is the calculation method. That this is the overridden method, which was defined initially in the parent class. Now in that method we have a super keyword, that is to access the methods of parent class. So super.calc means it will direct to the calc method of super class, that parent class. Now here we have a calc method initially in the parent class. Now the variables which we use both in parent and child class are declared here. These are known as data members: basic salary and gross salary and all other taxes and EPF and all those variables. Now here we have two child classes, right? That is one of them is a manager and next one is employee, engineer, right? Now just to check or to differentiate between those two, we are passing some variable string data to this. That means if for example here in this calculation of manager method, I'm passing check. Means if it is checked, it has to print those details, or if it is not checked, it will print in details of engineer. Likewise, now we can see if the variable is checked, I mean string where variable is checked. Now basic salary, that was 30,000, that was initially given in the question, that the constant I have assigned to that variable. Now DI is 95% of basic salary, and all these constant values are also given in the question. Now gross salary means excluding all the taxes and that are levied on the employee. That means that is the gross salary, and net salary is what the employee takes home. That means including all the taxes and the gross salary. From the gross salary we have to remove the taxes on all those, and then we'll get this net salary. Now we're just printing manage, that means these details are of belongs to manager, and the next line is gross salary, and this is the gross salary variable, net salary, and this is the variable for net salary. Now these are the pay details. The objective of this program is to print the gross net salary, and along with that we have to print the pay details of manager. Now they are just pay details of manager. Now similarly, if it is not checked, if the VAR is not checked, we're just printing the uh, details, salary details of engineer. Basic salary was 20,000, that was given in the question, and 80% of basic salary were also given in the question, and all these constants were predefined in the question. Now similar to the engineer, manager, gross salary is excluding all the taxes, and net salary includes that one. Now we are printing that these details belong to engineer, and the gross salary, net salary, and all the pay details. Now we'll check. That's the program. Now we'll check if it's working or not first. Main. Okay. Here is prompting us to enter 1 or 2 or 3. For example, we'll press 1. Here we can see that 1 belongs to manager, right? We can see manager and his gross salary, net salary, and all the pay details of manager. Now we'll check for engineer 2. Here we can see all the gross salary, net salary, and pay details of engineer. Now if we press 3, the program finishes. Yeah, we can see process finished with exit code. Now I hope this program executes successfully. The next program we have here is to calculate the total pay of worker. Now the same concept or method overriding we are using in this program also. Here worker is of two types in this program. It is just assumed like that. The one of them is a daily worker, and the next one just a minute. Here is a salaried worker. Both these two kinds of workers are assumed as two child classes of a parent class, that is worker. Now we have a method to be overridden, that is compay, that takes number of hours as a parameter. Now these are the data members that we use that we'll use both in parent and child class. We can access these variables since it is defined. It is not defined in any method. It is just defined under the class, right? So these are the instance variable we are using. So name of the worker and the salary rate and total pay. The salary rate means uh, the the wage that they get, and the total pay is the calculated one into how many days he works, and the total value will be stored under total pay variable. Now we'll start from the main function below. Now here it is, the class name is second, since our file name is second.java. Now we'll start from the main function. Similar to the first one, we are creating a scanner object and prompting the user to enter 1 or 2 for salaried work. One is for a daily worker. If the user presses 1, he wants to see the salary total pay of a daily worker, or if he presses 2, he just wants to see the details of salaried worker. Now we are checking if the number entered by the user is 1. If it is 1, we are creating an object for the daily worker using the reference of that object. Here it is ref1. We are calling the read method that reads still some more data of user. Well, we'll see read method first, and we'll come back here. A daily worker, we have a read method here. Now it is just to read the name and salary rate of daily worker. Similarly, we are using the scanner object and scanner class, object of the scanner class, and using that we are taking the name and salary rate, right? Okay. Now after reading that, we are prompting the user to enter number of days. That means since compay method takes number of hours as given in the question, we are converting the days into number of hours. That number of days is taken by next int method of scanner class using the object of scanner class, and days in multiplied by 24 gives hours, right? That hours we are passing to compay method. Compay method means using the object of daily worker class we are passing, right? Okay, now here it will come compay, that is calling the compay method of super class, which was overridden. This is the overridden method. This one is the original. Okay, compay method, here we have that just uh, computes the total pay, that is salary rate into hours, right? Salary rate we are taking here, right? Enter salary rate. When we enter the salary rate, that one will be stored in salary rate variable, and hours we are passing uh, by the use from the user, right? So the salary rate multiplied with hours gives us the total pay. And okay, now yeah, here we were, right? Now when we call display method, it just displays the details of daily worker. That means display method is here, right? Now name and total pay of daily worker. That's it. Now we'll see for salaried worker. If the user presses 2, we are creating an object for salaried class, salaried worker, and using the reference of the object, we are calling the read method that takes the name and salary rate, just like previous daily worker. Now we are after that we are prompting the user to enter number of days, and the number of days he enters is multiplied by 24 just to convert it into hours, since compay method takes hours. Now we are passing that one hours to compay method. Now we'll see how this compay method of this one will work. Salaried worker, here we have an overridden method uh, that calls the superclass comp. the combo method of superclass, that is here. It just computes the total, that is salary rate into number of hours. Now when it comes back here, we are just doing total pay equals to total pay plus that one I mean total pay along with an extra, that is salary rate multiplied by 40, because in the question it was given that no matter how much he works, he has to get the uh, uh, amount for 40 hours of work. That's why we have to add the salary rate into 40 with the actual total pay, that is the total pay of salaried worker. And uh, once we call this display method using the reference of salaried worker object, we can have the name and total pay of salaried worker. Now we'll check if this program works or not. Yes, for example, we'll check for one, that is daily worker. Daily worker, we'll say name as ABCD, and salary rate maybe, for example, 100, and number of days can be, for example, 10. Yeah, we can see the total salary, total pay is 24,000, because 10 days means 240 hours, and that multiplied by 100 gives 24,000. Now we'll check for salaried worker. Same name will give, and salary will be 100. Number of days we'll try for 10. Now we can see the name is ABCD, and a number of days, 10 days means it is 240 hours, and that one multiplied with 100 gives 24,000 plus the 40 hours rate, that is 40 into 100 is 4,000, and 24,000 plus 4,000 gives 28,000. This is the total pay of salaried worker. I hope this program is correct, and output has been executed successfully. Now we'll see the third one, that is to calculate the area of triangle and rectangle using inheritance and method overriding concept in Java. Now here we have a main parent class, that is shape, that has some instance variables, static double length, and a setter to initialize the values, and this is the method which we override in the child classes below. Now we'll see what are the child classes here. Here the child class is, one of the child classes is triangle, and the next one is rectangle. In this program we have to calculate the areas of both those figures, right? Both those figures can be assumed as two classes, and the parent class can be shape. We will start from main function. Here the class name is third, since the file name is third.java. I have given. Now we have a main function, and similar to the both previous programs, we have a scanner object to read the input from the user. We are prompting the user to enter length, enter width. Now using the x double method of scanner class, we can get the length, and we can get the width in the same way, and we are creating an object for shape class here. Using that object, we are passing this length and width to the setter means it just initializes the values that, I mean, user entered values to the instance variable which we have defined above. Now we'll see what is the setter function. The setter method here we have, and it takes two arguments of type double, length and base. Now here we are assigning the length and base to the instance variable length and breadth. Now we'll see what is there after setter. Now we are creating an object for triangle, and calling the method of find area method of triangle, and after that we're creating an object for rectangle and call the find area method of rectangle. Now first we'll see the find area, that is overridden method of triangle class, the child class. Now the overridden method find area uh, is it is calling the find area of superclass, passing a string data. That means just to differentiate whether to print a triangle, print the area of triangle or rectangle. If the find area method of superclass checks if shape dot equals means it checks whether this given shape given string data is equal to this triangle or not. If it is equal, it prints the area of triangle as half into length into breadth, that one. And or else if it is any other data, it will print the area of rectangle. We'll see how. Now last one, we are creating an object for rectangle class and calling the find area method of rectangle class. Now find area method of rectangle class is passing a string data, that is rectangle, to the superclass of sorry, to the find area class method of superclass. Now find area method got rectangle as a parameter, so it is not equal to triangle. It just prints the area of triangle as length into breadth. Now this is a very simple program. Now we'll see if it's working or not. So enter length, for example, and width, for example, 15. We can see the area of triangle is 10 into 15, that is 150. Half of 150 is 75, and rectangle's area is length into breadth, that is 150. I think the output of all these programs have been executed successfully. Thank you.